This is one of the most common questions I'm answering for Shalini. She asked yesterday, should I finance or lease? That is a great question, and the answer is not what you think. Some people may know the research, may have it figured out, and some people, I've seen smart people working with Mercedes-Benz. I've seen smart people who don't know the answer to this question, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we're gonna go deep and we're gonna do it fast. The answer is, are you a long-term person or a short-term person? Long-term for a car is 8 to 10 years. Short-term is anything less than that. Some people say, oh, Deshaun, I keep a car for a long time, 4 or 5 years, that's not a long time. When you consider the fact the average car loan is 5 to 6 years, the whole purpose of taking out a car loan is to pay off the car. And what ends up happening, if you think you're a long-term person, you attach your purchase to a long-term loan, which is 5, 6 years, but then you trade the car in prior to that loan, you just lost money. Let me explain. Depreciation is what a car does. Can y'all hear me all right? Cars don't go up in value, they go down daily. Your car's worth more today than it will be worth tomorrow. So as your car depreciates, your loan should be coming down as well. So as you're paying off, the longer loan you get, the longer it takes to pay off, the slower it comes down. And what ends up happening with people who want to trade in their car quick, but finance it, is you owe more than the car is worth. So you bought this car for $20,000, you financed it for 6 years, your payment is around $350. You come in 2 years and say, hey, I want to trade out of it. Problem is, because of the interest attached to the loan, you're probably still going to owe somewhere close to where you started at, but your car's value has come down by thousands. So you're what's called upside down. And I can't tell you how many people start the process of burying themselves by financing cars, getting out of them before the loan is paid up, and then you take that interest, you take that negative equity to your new car. So we're gonna go deep on this, but I'm trying to skim the surface. Y'all see why I'm gonna make a lot of videos, because we need to go deep on each subject. Let's take a short-term person. A short-term person is a person who says 2, 3 years, I'm tired of a car. 4 years, I want to get a new car. That's short-term. Leasing is made for you because it accounts for the depreciation that you're going to use. So you're being charged for what you use. You're not tying up your equity in a car. When you buy a car, you're tying up your equity in that car. And people come in, when they make bad decisions, they finance cars, and then they come in 3 years and say, Deshaun, you know what? Just get me to this payment, which I told y'all in my last video is bad. But when we start talking, they might say, get me to this payment and we got a deal. And I say, listen, I can get you to that payment, but once we bring in your old car, your payment goes up. Because you have $4,000, $5,000, $8,000 of negative equity baggage from your old car because you bought that wrong. So now what happens when you don't finance a car right? Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me, because I can only see Sharif in here, Lee, but I see it's more people, but whatever. I just want to make sure I'm coming through clear. When you finance a car and you have negative equity because you got out of that car quick, you usually did, if you didn't put much money down and you financed it long, you pay a lot of interest, and you go to trade out of it early, that's a recipe for disaster, because you're bringing the negative baggage over to your next deal. Let's just say the average I see is about $5,000 negative equity. So now your new deal, you brought $5,000 in baggage. Now you got interest on top of that, so you're financing your negative equity plus interest on the new car you're buying. So if you're buying another $20,000 car, you already have interest on that loan, plus the 5 you brought over is more interest. Now you're buried. So when you go to trade out of that second car, instead of being 5 upside down, now you're 8 or 9 upside down. And you if you can get something, it's going to cost you a ton of money. That's why what I do is so critical. That's why I know that I need y'all to help me get this info out, because you know people who have done this. We all know people who have done this, and the more information we have, the better. We got to go deep on everything from, should I buy a new car, used car? How much car should I buy? What if I don't have the credit to buy right now? Because those are the people who they try to take your head off when you don't have good credit. Some dealers try to take your head off, and they'll bury you for the next 10 years because you go in, you need a car, and the worst thing you could do is make a decision in the short term that you're still going to be paying for 10 years from now. I know people paying 10 years, they still got baggage from a car they bought 10 years ago because they've rolled it over and rolled it over. So when you look at leasing as short term. If you only keep a car 2-3 years, your mindset should be, I'm a lease person. Now you could also say, well, maybe I should buy pre-owned. I mean, we'll make another video about it because I don't want this to be too long. Does anyone have questions about anything while we're in here? I don't know why I could only see Sharif is watching, but it says 7 people are here. It's just, I don't know if this app is whatever. But if anyone has questions, let me know. What I'm probably going to do is go live from the other Facebook app, because I want to make sure this gets out. This video is so critical. The information is so critical. There's so many ways to lose money on cars. It's almost like navigating a minefield. And if you've never done it, if you don't do it every day, if you do it every 3 years, every 5 years, it's going to be so hard for you to act, to know where to make moves. And that's why I'm making these videos. Every other day I want to drop something new on a new topic, so that you watch these videos, you're going to be a better, smarter, more informed person. Lease. Desmond, lease. I see you said lease. Can you elaborate on that? Is that a question? Or are you saying you prefer to lease? Some people can't qualify for a lease. We'll talk about that. Take the same money that you would be putting into a finance and fix your credit. You might not be able to do it right now, but these cars will cost you so much money, it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. But when you do it right, when you buy a car right, you finance it or lease it, whatever your lifestyle is, whatever fits your lifestyle better. When you do it right, the car is a blessing. The car is meant to be a blessing. If you do it wrong, and it's 10, 15 ways to do it wrong, it becomes a burden. Prefer leasing? Absolutely. Listen, I've probably had 10 cars in my life. I think I've leased probably 7. Bought 3. Bought 4. So, it's, and there's some cars you keep for a long time. Some cars you keep for a long time. If you keep a car for, like, I have one car. My wife and I would keep one car for years, and we would lease the other one. Now we lease both. So, if you are looking for a car, if you know anyone's looking for a car, I am the person to help. I don't say guarantee me the business, but if you give me the opportunity, that's what it's my job to earn the business from there. Never let anyone say, oh, you're my friend, you know me, you should definitely give me the business. No, you should give a person an opportunity. At that point, they have to earn the business. But yeah, leasing is great. Most people in the Northeast United States lease. It's I want to say it's 70-80% of people. Because if you don't see a car in your life 8 years down the road, you shouldn't buy it. You shouldn't buy it unless you're building, and we'll get into that too. Finance. You prefer finance, Mark? Why do you prefer finance? You keep your cars for a while, or what do you like about financing cars? And there are people who finance religiously. They pay off cars, they keep them, They drive them until the wheels fall off. They get the most money out of a car. That is the way to get the most money out of a car, is to finance the car. If you can do it, you should do it. If you can do it, you should do it. If I could do what, Deshaun? If you can buy a car, keep the car, pay off the car, and have no payment, you should do it. But if you're someone who you know yourself, you gotta know yourself. If you are, 3 years down the road, you looking at the latest cars driving, and you like, oh, that looks good. You looking at the latest technology, and that looks good, and then you should be leasing. Hands down, it's not even close. No comparison. When you lease, I'll make another video about the benefits of each, because there's a long list of benefits with finance. You got to know: am I going to buy new? Am I going to buy certified? Am I going to buy used? Each different type of I can't even talk. Lease has its own set of pros and cons. Finance has its own set of pros and cons. This video is long enough, so I don't really want to start going into each, but I will go. I don't know. Somebody told me, listen, if the video is informative and you're dropping info, then it could be longer. I always like to get some questions answered, but if I start a fresh video and go into each, the pros of leasing, pros and cons of leasing, pros and cons of buying, so that you're clear. And then, we're going to need to know what's the difference between a used car and a certified car. Do I need warranty? Do I need gap insurance? All of these questions, there's so many questions. And when it comes to leasing, a lot of people say, Deshaun, I heard you can't lease if you drive a lot of mileage. That's not true. It's absolutely not true. I have salespeople that lease that drive 25, 30,000 miles a year. So there's so many questions that need to be answered for each topic. I'm thinking of leasing a C300 convertible. That's what I do. Listen, if you want to lease a car, there are not many people that are better to deal with than me. And I'm not gonna say there's no one better, because there's some great people out here, but there are not many people better than me. I've been doing this 14 years. I care about people, and there's just not many people better than me. So you want to message me, let me know what you need. Let's talk. Let's have a 10-minute call, find out kind of what you want to accomplish, what your goals are, Desmond, and we can help you get there, hands down. So if you know anyone looking for a new car, please pass on my name. I do pay for referrals. Everyone who you send, if I help them get a car, I send you a check or a Cash App, Venmo. I pay people for sending me customers, because I can't grow without y'all, and so I want to give the best I can. Anybody have any questions about leasing or financing so far before we wrap this up? It's a big deal, y'all. Like, I consider myself to be I'm accountable to give this information. I've seen too many people get ripped off, and I was following your real estate videos. Did you move from real estate to cars? I've always been in cars, Chris. I've been in cars for 14 years, and I did real estate from 2011 to pretty much last year. I just wanted to go. I was either